minutes on page 3, if they've been reviewed, and have a motion to accept them as presented.
So moved.
Bill, second, please. Second. All right, Katie, any discussion or comments, corrections? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, abstained? Minutes carried. Treasurer's report, page 5.
Really nothing out of the ordinary to report. We have had no applications or awarded no loans, which is the same as last month. We have the same 2 items. One is our loan to the IDA, and the other is busted grapes that are delinquent in our receivables. Other than that, this isn't the one where I asked the question about
No, that's.
IDA?
Yeah.
Okay. Guess that would be it. We're just running along. Need to look for some projects. Must be there's not a lot going on that needs revolving loans.
Okay. Motion to accept the report. Is that
Yes.
you? A second, please.
Second.
One question, the GIMO on there, was that part of reimbursement through the airport part of work or something
That
else?
was the IDA, wasn't it?
It's on here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. That is for our kitchen, study. Shared use study. Yes. Yeah, that is a
That was-
grant. We were talking about it earlier. It was approved by you guys.
It
Last
sounded vaguely familiar, but
Yeah,
it's the
it's a
biggest
grant.
I
check
asked about that
dispersed.
earlier,
It was the
Rob.
biggest check dispersed, figured mine away.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem.
That's fine.
That was the only question. Any other questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Peggy Dave had to leave the room, so I guess he's abstained. Committee report, Jay, we'll start with you.
After this meeting today, I have a fairly large group coming in to discuss, and this is at the request of the Ag Development Council, to discuss both the labor issues and the farmland protection issues here in Jefferson County as they relate to the development primarily of the Micron project. The council is seeing competition for their workforce. Agriculture is seeing competition for their workforce rise dramatically, and they would like us to initiate an effort to see if there's ways to address that, which I'm not sure there is. The salary ranges that people are being offered are pretty high, and it's going to be it's going to be very competitive to try and keep people working on our farms when they can make 3 times, and they're getting paid well on our farms, but they can get paid a lot better working at micron projects. So anyways, that group will be coming in at 10. Any of you that would like to sit in on that, you're more than welcome to. It is the first in what I'm assuming will be many meetings to discuss these issues.
Do you think they'll actually, the notion that, I'm not sure what we can do, I mean, is that gonna be reality of the outcome potentially that, because really what can you put on the drawing board to maybe be considered to offset that?
So I'll give you an example. I was talking with Jeff Ginger, CTE director at BOCES, and he's very excited. He won't be here today, but he's very excited about this effort. What he would like to do is design a program and design a marketing effort that better markets agricultural career opportunities than what we do right now. We don't do anything of any significance right now. So he, this is just one example. He wants to create a program where we do professional marketing efforts to attract people into agriculture. Will that solve the problem? No. But could it bring a few new faces in? Certainly. That also would support BOCES efforts, JCC's efforts, and so on. And they've all been invited to sit at the table. the other thing is the industry itself has to recognize what they face and find a way to become more competitive. And I don't know how possible that is, but then there's a third option. And that third option is going to depend upon our elected officials deciding to create a farm guest worker program. That's what's going to boil down to. So
I can see where the biggest pool for the farm labor is gonna be anybody with CDL license. That's where all the pressure is gonna go. Not so much a guy, milking cows in the barn somewhere.
And feel free to ask more questions on that, but moving along from that,
Just one question. You said Farmland Preservation Board was part of this?
they've been
Farmland
invited.
protection?
Yeah, they've been invited. But it's the farmland question, pressure from, and I don't see this as being huge, but pressure from housing development near some of our prime farmland in the southern part of the county, and external sources. Right now, there is a company that is seeking agricultural lands. The name of the company I won't say, and I can't remember at the moment anyways, but they are doing an national search for farmland. What they do is they offer a very lucrative price per acre for that farmland to be put into grassland and retired for 30 years. And the farm can only mow it once a year according to a certain prescription. And the whole idea is, as projects like Micron are developing and they need to take wetlands out or they need to take other lands out, this becomes the mitigation property for those projects. And it's very concerning. I've had multiple farms, multiple landowners call me about it. The prices are good prices, and it's concerning. I don't know if anybody's signed up yet, but it won't surprise me if they do. So there's all of a sudden there's a lot of pressure coming down on agriculture, both on the labor side and on the farmland side. And the council has requested that we do everything we can to address it.
Good example of that. I happened to sit beside the Milton Cat rep at an event last Saturday, and he had just signed a sales order for $2 million deal to a farmer down by Micron. That Micron bought 3,000 acres of his wetlands, or not wetlands, but grasslands, to offset their DEC offsets from their building site. And now they're hiring him to manage those 3,000 acres according to whatever criteria for preservation.
He can tell you how much he's paying his excavator
Ridiculous.
operators.
He spent $2 million buying equipment to do it.
$150 an acre, or $150 an hour to operate an excavator. Hard to compete against that.
That's including benefits.
Still hard to compete against.
Oh, no.
that.
You're gonna,
Yeah.
there's gonna be such a huge pressure on.
Yeah. And I'm not speaking negatively about Micron. I'm just saying what the reality is of the pressures that it's going to put on at least agriculture and all our other sectors for that matter. On another note, have met with our dairy processing companies. We do have one company that has potential projects that they would like to do. So we're beginning to work with them. We need to get them in touch with ESD to see if we can move those projects along for them. Not any big expansions where they're going to take in a whole lot more milk, but just efficiency, better warehousing, and so on, which is important to them. So we'll be working with them on that. On the poultry side, we Marshall and I were able to get in for a tour of Aviagen, which was pretty cool. And I was surprised because I thought Aviagen's production was at about 400,000 chicks per week. And they have expanded to 800 to 900,000 chicks per week. So,
Just numbers are hard to fathom.
yeah. And those are the grandparent stock, as they refer to it, right, Marshall?
Yes.
The grandparent stock that goes out and starts making eggs elsewhere. So there's a lot of demand for poultry out there. That's it, sir.
All right, any questions?
Is the Southern Dairy project pretty well, the door is shut on it? It's not.
The door is not shut. Is the project going to happen? More than likely not. Ron informed Southern Dairy that he was not going to keep his land allocated, if you will, to the Southern Dairy project. They were not showing any signs of being able to come up with the investors.
And they were looking at in excess of 200 million to do that project.
Yes.
I think maybe we could talk a little bit about the other one.
Sure.
I don't know if that's appropriate here. But
I can
please.
wash it.
Yeah.
So the other project, New York Dairy Powders, which was a spinoff of Southern Dairy, I actually thought they were more promising, but with that project, they also wanted 1 billion pounds of milk per year. And unfortunately, with the Chobani project announcement, that has caused the dairy cooperative to be concerned about milk supply. And so they relayed that information to New York Dairy Powders. With that information, New York Dairy Powders informed us that their investors, without a definite milk supply, were not interested in moving forward. Since that time, I've heard that there's some rumblings that the yogurt project may not use all the milk that they were talking about, which is frustrating because
From Chobani.
that's very frustrating because that, if that is the case, it cost us a project, and I don't know if we can bring it back. I don't know when we will find out anything for certain.
How many cows is 1 billion pounds of milk?
A lot.
I figured that.
More than exists today.
Yeah, I believe it's, I'm trying to remember the figures. Please do not quote me on this, but I believe it's 100,000 cows. Additional cows needed in New York State to meet all of the demand, the new demand for milk. That's a lot of cows.
I do feel like if we're able to, through the co-ops, demonstrate and get the co-op support. So right now, them not being able to guarantee it, obviously they're not going to be making that investment on with that level of concern. But if we are able to demonstrate through the cooperatives with their support, I do feel like we would be able to restart that fairly quickly. The people that were heading up this spin-off project were very eager to get this thing going, and that comment from DFA really took the wind out of our sails, obviously. I guess I wouldn't say necessarily that it's dead. I would probably go more of a on hold pending new information kind of scenario.
Yeah, We are continuing to pursue dairy processing very avidly. Just those are obvious setbacks, but Ron Robbins is continuing to seek site approvals for his property so that we can market that. We had a meeting with Center State CEO yesterday and discussed marketing properties for not just agriculture, but including agriculture. So, a lot of, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. We've had some setbacks. That's economic development. You gotta keep going until you get an answer. Sometimes the answers you don't like, sometimes the answers you do like.
Okay, thanks. We'll move to manufacturing and marketing, whatever order.
Yeah, a couple things here on the manufacturing. I was going to touch on the EVGen tour that Jay and I did, and this is and it goes back to what we're going to talk about at IEA meeting. But this expansion project, and after touring and hearing them talk about kind of, and while the expansion isn't huge per se, it's actually kind of small. It will greatly improve their processes, and I thought that the key point was about them allowing them to bring full trucks in of chicks. Currently, they're only bringing in the trucks are only about half full because they don't have any space to do that. So weirdly, with the expansion and with full trucks coming in, there may be a little bit of a reduction in truck traffic through there, which is a positive thing. So it does kind of go along with the growth that we're seeing in that industry, and we're excited about that. Manufacturing Day, which is one of our big signature events from a future workforce perspective. This is where we have hundreds and hundreds of kids visit Jefferson County, as well as some Lewis County and St. Lawrence County businesses. Visit manufacturing in consideration of a future career in that, and they visit facilities like Air Brake and Knowlton's and a number of other ones spread throughout the county. Great Lakes Cheese, HP Hood. It is a really great day, and the kids love it, and we enjoy it too. It's a good thing, and sort of give them a day in the life in that career space. So excited about that. And then on the marketing piece, as we mentioned and got approval for last month, we did put in a $100,000 Market New York grant for tourism. I want to thank Corey Fram at the Thousand Islands Tourism for his efforts on this. We did a combined effort to get this grant submitted, and we're excited about that. And it has been submitted, and looking forward to an award.
Any questions?
How will you specifically use that?
The bulk of it's going to be digital advertising throughout the state. A lot of that, potentially some billboards and things like that. It's a marketing campaign.
Pages 11 through 17, we have the strategic action plan. I've missed the last couple of meetings, so I see there's some things that are accomplished or in process or whatever. I think we'll just leave it open, and then what I would like to do is somewhere September, October, when we get away from summer, maybe spend a few more moments on this and kind of like put some things to bed, because a lot of these are within 6 months, which means January.
Yeah.
So there's some effort to close a few items.
And with what you had included in here, I'm actually working on a bigger update of this.
Okay.
There's a lot more that's been done, so.
So aside from there's 6 or 7 pages, anyone have any particularly strong observations or comments or recommendations? Well, what I think we can do is, as things kind of go into committees, or we can spend a few more moments when today's not a very robust agenda either, but you have a meeting at 10, and I'm sure people we can at least get people mindful that maybe we'll spend a half hour on it in one of our upcoming meetings, if a half hour is necessary.
That was kind of the plan when it was formulated, that we devote a line item in the agenda.
Yeah, so I think, again, once we get past summer.
Got my vote.
Anything from council in this meeting, Justin?
Nothing to report today, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any new business? Barring that, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Ed, this is the second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? We stand adjourned. We'll move to our next meeting, which is JCIDA.
I
Yes,
think we better wait till 8:30 if we are gonna have additional guests,
okay.
just because it was published for 8:30.
And Justin, are our dates and times mandatory to wait? Or like, I mean, it's only 8 minutes.
Do you think that there might be anybody else coming?
There was one person you're fine to start now, if anybody pops in or.
Go back to public comment if someone else
Yeah, we
shows
can go
up.
back.
Okay, what we'll do, so that meeting is adjourned, I can start the new meeting. We'll call to order our JCIDA, Jefferson County Justice Development Agency, meeting. And, if additional guests show up, we'll go back to privilege of floor. Just so we can kind of keep things moving along. Our treasurer's report may take a long time, and
No,
we'll probably be beyond 8:30 for that.
really?
We're gonna grill you.
Yeah, lots of
calls. You don't even know. Okay, so our minutes are on page 3 and 4, and I actually have to open the packet, I apologize.
I guess I better ask lots of questions about the minutes then.
So minutes are on page 3 and 4. If they've been reviewed, motion to accept is approved, please.
So moved.
Lisa?
Second.
John? Any other discussion or questions? Okay, all in favor of the minutes? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes carry. Go to the treasurer's report. Paul?
Well, I will drag it out.
We still have committee reports after this.
Okay,
I don't want to get into the motions, so I'll hold off the
Just-
motions and everything.
the dashboard that Dorian Creed shows the status of all projects, which there are none. We have no pending applications at the current time. I would bring everyone to take a check at our unrestricted checking balance as of the end of this month,
Not great.
end of July. It's down significantly. And when you go down through there, we're going to be talking about 3 Mile Ventures or Sallyport, as we all know it, and a little bit about that. There's been no movement on Colleen's cherry trees, outstanding balance, taste of design. And that would be it. I mean, those are the biggest things we are looking at, is some of the delinquencies and what we're going to do with them. So hopefully we can get 3 Mile Bay Ventures moving in the right way.
So besides 3 Mile and obviously Conval, Collins, those were the only significant, what I'll call past due or
Yes,
troubled accounts. Okay.
Colleen's have been open now.
It is.
It is?
In the buildings for sale. They're open occasionally, I think regularly, but the building is still for sale.
Yeah. It's harder, yeah.
And it will
When you
stay for
have-
sale through the winter for sure.
When you have a restaurant or a diner and you're not,
it's an ice cream shop, I think.
That part's closed unless
Well,
they're
I
doing
know.
it through the,
Well, isn't that what our loan was for, was for the
the
expansion? of the-
second loan was for the ice cream. The
Yeah.
first one was for improvements to the actual
Yeah.
diner portion.
So,
it's hard to get business in if people don't know that you're gonna be open.
Has she reached out to anybody here?
Colleen's?
She gets her monthly notices.
I mean, I think it's been several months since we've had a discussion with them. That's when we were told is that they were gonna sell it, and when it's sold, they'll pay off the
Well,
loan.
apparently in the last month or two, DOT has marked, they have a cutback or is it
They changed in the road right away for,
yeah, it's going through there.
But the right of way was always part of
The setback, the setback,
Setback.
and the setback.
I'm not sure that actually changed up, that when they did the site plan review locally, the parking lot's in the right of way, and it always has been. You should have put up Jersey barriers, but that's a defect for the.
Right, but didn't they put stuff up there though, or mark it, or
There
they're
is a
gonna do a
detour,
project maybe?
there's some detour signs now, but there's nothing physically preventing people to park almost on the frickin' white line, which is the shoulder, and it's not a very wide shoulder on Route 3.
Yeah, I
But
guess,
they are going to, they're supposed to straighten out that road. There's a bridge down further that's being raised and improved. And I think they're supposed to move it up that way, because that Four Corners is pretty dangerous. And it doesn't help that the parking lot has no delineated in or out. People just come and go.
and that's what I think they're, like, again,
It is literally wherever you park, you just drive out onto the road.
I think that's what's gonna eventually happen is,
Yeah.
their parking's gonna be
I think,
gone, and
and I think the
Essentially.
town has been on them a little bit too for simple things like a Jersey barrier and a definite in and out. So that it can be a safer intersection.
but as far as the sale goes,
There's a sign, that's all I know. And I've seen people in
Yeah.
our followers, so I'm assuming there's been some looky-loos.
So yes, I would move the
Okay,
treasury report if there's no more questions.
Second.
do we have a second?
Second.
Those, I think I asked a question and you answered. Those are the only ones that are past due right now, the ones we met, okay. I'm trying to find the column on here. There's a lot of numbers now.
Yeah,
Well, you look down under the blue line, you'll
Yeah,
have,
looking at it on.
it has the link, Convolt's on there, 3 Mile Bay Ventures, Colleen's, Pink Kettle's on there, but that's one that's been out there for a while.
Yeah, that's the one you tried to, that was the one in the mall that you tried to raise and you couldn't get a hold of the person. Or is that not the same one?
well, I did certified mail for one of the
Okay.
notices, and they did sign it, but we still can't reach them.
Okay. We have first, second, any other discussion? All in favor of the treasurer's report, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? The treasurer's report carries. Committee reports, do we have a need for an upcoming alternative energy, or do you have anything to report
We
now?
may want to go to public comment before we move any further.
Okay, we can do that. If it's not 8:30 yet. Do you expect a lot of comments on your alternative energy report?
I imagine we're going to get some comments on solar energy projects,
I've got a
so,
lot of comments too, but
yeah.
nobody's ever listened to me.
We have not had a solar energy committee meeting
Okay.
since the last one. There continues to be statewide growing opposition to these large-scale solars across the state. If you read some of the articles, that's about the only thing I can add from what we've seen before. And the state is not making it easy for the local communities.
Okay.
Coming back to the request for sales tax exemption, is there been any discussion with AMET on
Any discussion with AES?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear from Neil often. I guess, it's one of those things. Unfortunately, I would say that the feeling from AES is sales tax, no sales tax. Either way, it's going to be their plan is to move forward, and they would. I think they would prefer that, but how that positively or negatively affects tax revenue for Jefferson County and for the state at large, sort of wait to be seen.
We have nothing to report factually.
Nothing to report factually.
Discussions,
Just discussions,
populations,
yeah.
and, okay, I just wanted to clear that up.
But
Why don't we won't close the alternative energy thing, but it is 8:30 now. We can go back to the
Okay.
beginning of the meeting, do the public comments, privilege of the floor. You don't necessarily have to stand, but just state your name and who you are, and hopefully everybody did sign in if you're a guest. But please, sir.
I'm Ken Knapp, the Deputy Supervisor and Renewable Energy Liaison for the town of Clayton. I know one of my compadres from the town of Lyme, representative of the town of Lyme, is going to be here, but she probably can't make it. So I came before you to talk exactly about the solar, exactly about tax abatement. I'm asking you guys flat out, don't even be considering it. And in fact, our legal representation and the town of Lyme's legal representation are actually engaged in the ORES processes. I don't understand why we weren't involved in any kind of discussion with the developer, period. Why are we not involved? We have legal representations, we've been doing filings, etc. And we recently learned through Resolution 219 from the legislation out there that suddenly we're going to be cut completely out of this. Goodbye. Treated exactly like the state of New York treats us. You don't have any say, sorry, you're not wise enough or whatever to handle this. Number one, this county has to do nothing, and they still have to come to the table for a host community benefit package. You guys don't have to offer them a dang thing, right? They are forced under ORES resolutions or regulations to come to the local communities and provide and negotiate a host community benefit. There's one singular pot of money here. So why we're giving them anything, I don't understand, because all that does is incentivize them and give them a tax break. Come on into our community and build your solar farm. Well, I'll tell you, we are fighting these people. We're spending our tax-paid dollars to fight them. And now we're considering giving them tax abatement? What does that even mean? Why are you folks in the county suddenly at odds with our own townships? It does not make sense. In fact, 6 years ago, we came before this board, myself, former supervisor, and our legal representation came in on video, and we had a great conversation about zero tax abatement, zero. Because with this one singular pot of money, the best method to handle this is through an HCA, a host community agreement, which gives the local taxing jurisdictions that are most impacted, the most control and the most influence over the processes. If you take that away from us, we have no leverage, no nothing. We're out of the picture. That's the problem. And in an HCA, a host community agreement, it allows us, the local community, okay, the taxing jurisdiction most impacted, to negotiate directly, as we have in the past, with the developer. And we can assure that our school districts, the affected ones, are taken care of. We can assure that all the things that are not factored in the ORES processes are covered, okay? We've had experience in this. Tracy Road Solar. If you look at what the state allows for demolition costs to put in escrow, it's about a third of what it's going to take. The highway is the same thing. They have set numbers. This is it. This is what you get. The only way we can ensure that our highways, the demolition, all these other factors are accounted for is through an HCA. It gives us direct leverage to say, this is what we need. And you know what? They have to sign that off. They cannot get their application approved unless they have shown a host community benefit, which the HCA, the host community agreement, is the best vehicle to do that. It allows us, the localities, who got to live with this, who have constituents coming to our board meeting crying because they're going to wake up one day in the middle of a solar farm. They didn't want it. Our town doesn't want it. So again, I put out, why in God's name would you even consider tax abatement? Back of the napkin math, you're going to give Limestone Solar $3 million for what? $1 million? Don't do that. Let us negotiate a host community agreements. All right, we will get the best bang for the buck. The county will receive full taxation. You will get your dollars. Full taxation. It's not gonna hurt them. These are hundreds of millions of dollars projects. We're gonna give them a little break. For what? To incentivize? To tell them, come on into my town? The people I represent do not want this. In fact, little do you know that the only town in the entire state that had 2 high-ranking ORES officials come all the way to Albany to meet with us was our town. And you know what we told them? Our attorney? No more solar developments in the town of Clayton. And I'm pretty sure that that stands for all the river and the lakeside communities. No. And when our supervisor came and joined the meeting, you know what he told them? Tell the developers to go to hell. Go to hell. Because we will fight tooth and nail. We actually had to develop a line item in our budget that we've held for years in order to pay attorney fees and everything else, because you know what? This process screws us over. You guys, if you're any familiar with it, you know it's a kick in the face. And again, I implore Jefferson County, the IDA, do not reverse course. And I checked with our long-term supervisor, Justin Taylor. I checked with the longtime legislator and chairman, former of the county, Scott Gray. The policy for the county has been since 2010, no abatement on unwanted projects. So why would you suddenly turn a new leaf and say, we're gonna work with them? Don't pick the developer's side over your own towns. Our township's worth $1.1 billion in tax revenues, property tax revenues. Why are you jeopardizing that? And I think our sales tax revenues from our township dwarfs most. And you combine that with the town of Lyme, that's a big chunk. Why would you help them jeopardize us? I mean, really, let us take the battle to them. We've successful in the past. Come to the town of Clayton. Do you see a wind farm? No. Why? Because the town of Clayton hired the best legal representation there was, and we still retain him. And we stopped it. In fact, we went head to head with the current guy that's handling all these projects, Jimmy Moscato, in Young's in Somerset, and he lost. Don't take that away from us. You know, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Just because New York State has made it impossible to win doesn't mean you can't. One of the ways you start is by not incentivizing them whatsoever, and not cutting the local towns out of these stories, out of these negotiations or whatever. Why are we not negotiating? Again, I go right back to the precedent set by this very body when it comes to the Clayton portion of the Tracy Road project. You all were happy. Yeah, take care of it. Because we had our attorney come in and explain the rules of the road, etc. Once everybody understands that, very, very complex system, and New York State does that on purpose, became very clear. The best method to deal with these is let the localities handle it through special attorneys. I advised the county when we attended their meeting, I think it's a good idea that they get legal counsel. So if a township is not capable, that's one thing. But that is a separate issue from suddenly handing out tax abatements, giving away potential tax dollars. It's not going to gain you all a bunch, and it's going to throw us out to the street. So I ask you plainly, please don't consider this, and please argue against it. And I am going to be lobbying every legislator and whoever it takes to turn this around, because we were knocked flat, shocked that suddenly a county is doing a 180 without even speaking to the very townships most affected. Our town, the town of Lyme, we're getting hammered, but we have the ability to fight this as long as we don't have the rug taken out from underneath us. So that's why I came here tonight, this morning, I'm sorry, I don't know what time of day it is, but to speak to you all, to really drive home that point, that this is a critical issue for our town. And maybe all esoteric and academic and whatever for you all, but it's a lived reality for us. Let us do our job. Let us do our job that the people in our township elected us to do. All right? We know how to handle this. I think, as again, my recommendation to the county, there may be townships that can't handle this. New York State makes it that way. And there may be issues that the county needs to have a say in, but that's it. It's separate from tax abatement. No tax abatement, period. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have comments?
Yes, do you want to, I,
Oh.
your name and.
Jennifer Kingsley, Deputy Supervisor, Town of Lyme, citizen Town of Lyme. I completely agree with what Ken Knapp has said. Our town has been working diligently to try to avoid having any more solar come. We were the town that had the solar fire in 23. We're done with solar. Our citizens have created a concerned citizens committee on solar, have done tons of outreach. If you have time, go on to the New York, I'm gonna say the initials wrong, but it's the comment site for the projects, and read the hundreds and hundreds of comments. Our citizens don't want the solar in our town. So anything that is being done to incentivize them to come is not anything that we want. Don't give them the tax exemptions. It's not something that is gonna be good for anybody. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Thank you. Let's go, what's that? Okay, we'll go back to alternative energy.
Well, I think it's important to point out that we've had no applications and we've had no substantive negotiations with any of these projects yet, okay? Until they do. It's been a long-standing policy of this board that every taxing jurisdiction, and you were involved with the conversion, everybody was in the room, and everyone will be in the room. I mean, from government, the concerned citizens won't be there, but the local governments are involved in every negotiations. If a community and this board also has a long history, and I'm going to David, never imposed a pilot against the will of one of the taxing jurisdictions, have we, David?
Great, I appreciate those words. We do,
Okay.
Because we were getting a total different read from the county last night.
Well, you gotta understand, I have not been involved with the county. I didn't know anything about that resolution until Marshall told me about it. They're just seeking the same type of representation that you have for your town to represent them. You don't want the county and the town to have the same representation.
No,
So I
totally
think,
understood. It's
I
the
think what
second
the-
half of that resolution that basically laid out a pathway for tax abatement, but we
Well,
have a big
in our
issue.
discussions with the county, and I'm gonna go back to Lyme and Convergent,
Mhm.
they made a decision, the school did, to go a separate way on their own.
Sure.
And that created a mess, so we couldn't leverage money for the town and the village. And it was only the county's position that they wanted to demand a pilot, which they had the authority to do, that we could bring in and collect money for the town and the village. And in that, when you look at the proportional distribution, the town's getting a larger share than proportional jurisdiction that was given up by the county. So the county understands what the needs are of the local communities. So I wouldn't read anything in other than that they want to have a unified presence by all the taxing jurisdictions against these projects. And the only reason sales tax was brought up as an issue is that we had a request from the developers, would we consider sales tax abatement? Since it's a county law, we requested the county for their impression. In the past, it's been no sales tax abatement on solar. Okay, whether or not that's changed, we don't know yet.
Understood.
But just because they offer it doesn't mean we're gonna grant it. I live in a town, Hounsfield, which is Greens Corners, so I understand what you're going through, and we're gonna go through the same thing there. So I think, I don't think anyone should think that the county's trying to subvert your authority as a local taxing jurisdiction, because I don't think anyone on this board is gonna allow that to happen.
No, I
There's no
appreciate that.
love for these projects on my part, trust me.
Understood.
So, and I would hate to think we would do anything to support a bad project with tax abatement. So it's going to be a long road to hoe, but I think the county's hiring an attorney. I don't know the firm or the person, but I think the county needed outside individual representation for themselves. You're using Ben, I've been involved with organization that used him before, so.
No, I 100% agree with the legal representation. What we as towns have a problem with is the other half of a resolution that basically laid out a pathway that stated about tax abatements, incentive packages, and et cetera. And
Well-
that doesn't need to be included in just hiring an attorney.
Well,
So it's not your guys.
I don't mean to keep going, but there are pitfalls with full taxation. There are pitfalls with a
Absolutely.
480 saving. And none of these are perfect. And what has changed that has changed how everyone's looking at these is 525B, which created that valuation model. No, they've tinkered with that to the point where one of the projects in Chameau, we couldn't even estimate a value. And when we talked to the state, they told us what to do. It came up with a negative value on the project. So that's created a whole mess that we're going to have to deal with, and your local assessors are going to have to deal with moving forward.
Sure.
I think the state is just out of control with tinkering with
100%.
how they're doing these things. So I think the one thing, and I don't mean to speak for the whole board, is that there'll be no negotiations without every taxing jurisdiction having access to those negotiations.
I'll add that any application we get goes under, Paul used the word uniform tax exemption policy. That's the rules of the road.
Mhm.
If there's a change, and all of the towns in the county had a say in what those words mean and what our rules are. It doesn't mean the project's going to be approved or denied. It's just, those are the rules. If there's a deviation, if one of the taxing jurisdictions, which could be the county, could be the towns, decide to do something, all parties have a seat at the table. So either way, you've had a say in the rules, or you will have a say in the new rules. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I'm only a volunteer for the county in the IDA. So like, obviously, there are bigger entities at stake here. And these are life-altering projects. I will, having lived through some of these in the past, I understand what you're coming from.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if this developer is going to go forward regardless, every party in the county needs to get their fair share of however the taxation may be. Plowing your road, I mean, I don't know what those things are, but if it's not a UTEP, it's a deviation, and then that has to be done separately.
Well, understood. We were just, as a towns, totally shocked that in this resolution, the county seemed to be taking a completely different tact without, and as I say, you can separate.
I
this
think you're
resolution.
reading too much into that.
Way too much.
Yeah,
Let
we have
me
to
address
read
this,
it.
because I haven't,
Let Bill.
you totally misunderstood the purpose of that resolution.
Not
Maybe it was poorly written.
Okay.
Our purpose of that was to hire a lawyer to help us with those issues. That's it.
That's great.
That's it.
Well, then it really
And
just.
we had
seemed to
no
read it.
intent of backdooring you at all. In fact, our county administrator sat at this table and said it's important that we address these things as a group, and that's still our plan. We are not the bad guys.
No,
We want to work with everybody on these projects.
I understand that. I'm just saying that based on our legal take, our legal representation's take on that particular resolution, it was not good for our town.
Well, maybe it was poorly written,
That I
but
would
that
agree
was
with.
not our
No.
intent.
And I spoke at the meeting and said, I don't believe
I
it's
was
your
there.
intention. I know, and I don't believe it's your intention at all, but that's why we came to the meeting to say there is an issue with that particular resolution. And we came here before you because we are greatly concerned that somehow there's been a shift.
So it
Because
bothered
we
the
haven't
lawyer.
been privy, we have not been privy to stuff, so.
There really hasn't been
Nothing's
any,
happened.
there's been
Nothing's
none.
happened.
There has been
Nothing's happened.
nothing.
It's a lot
Formal
of
to date.
crazy demands from a developer which aren't being addressed. Because there's no application, which means there's no project.
No, but we deal with an application for that project. So that's why we're kind of really concerned. And I don't mean to dump on you all, I really don't. We've worked great together in the past, so, but we're just greatly concerned, so that's why we came here.
We have a question.
go, who I don't.
You have a question?
Yes, Peter Crump, Town Wellness Supervisor, and if I could just ask a question for my own benefit, but I think it'd benefit the rest of the towns. With what you're talking about as a countywide, involving all the towns, how's the scenario gonna play into that if the New York Power Authority comes in and takes 52% of controlling interest in any of these projects?
That's what we're trying to get a handle
Not
on.
gonna be good.
Because if you read the 2025 September strategic report of the New York Power Authority, you're gonna find out that they've earmarked almost all of the major solar projects that are anticipated or on the table right now, upcoming, with great interest in the New York Power Authority coming in and taking controlling interest. And then that's gonna throw all your tax right out the window.
They did say that they would honor any agreements that were in place, though. So
They
that's kind of
Okay.
that's kind of a key point here, just to further clarify.
Mhm.
And if I I don't want to overstep, and feel free for the board to tell me to stop talking at any time. This kind of goes along with what we were saying, or what I believe, and I'm not speaking for the county. I want to make sure that I'm not doing that. But the effort of that was to try to get the best possible deal, and it's possible through. And I don't even want to say the P word here, as the CEO of this agency, but it's very possible with an HCA and the P word that there theoretically could be a better deal for us, and that was what they were looking to do. It wasn't about, and again, I'm not trying to speak for Bill or for the county. This was about an effort, because of the complexity of these deals, to get the best possible deal. And that might not be, it could very well be straight tax, which is not, it's not full tax, it's tax according to the model.
Right.
And so I feel like that all of a sudden, by not bringing in people to deal specifically with these extremely complex problems, and be open to potentially all options to get the best possible deal, if everything's not on the table, then you kind of get pigeonholed in one thing, and all of a sudden you're not able to get the best possible deal. If they are coming and they're permitted and they're coming one way or the other, I feel like it's our duty to make sure that we explore every possible options. And again, that was an effort to examine what that best possible option is. So I just wanted to bring that up. I agree with about 95. I'm right there with you, sir.
No,
100%
I
on these
understand.
projects. It's just the method with which we take, and I also feel like if to Supervisor Crump's question, that was one of the key things about is if we did have these agreements in place, they wouldn't necessarily be able to railroad us in the future. So it's one of these things where I get a little, I'm sitting here and I'm sitting like nodding my head, but then in my brain, I'm like, I kind of feel like it's just something where there needs to be, and as we all talk about bringing everybody together, that's what we do. And we're really good at that. Just make sure everybody understands the reasons for the moves that we're making. So, I guess that's it.
We're gonna cautiously proceed.
Yes.
And if okay, we've beaten this horse to death. We do have other business. I don't want to
Understand.
quell questions, but we've already gone through public comments. This is not supposed to be a discussion. But
appreciate
I also want to recognize the fact that you come here, you've attended the meeting, you're one of the few guests we see every 6 months.
I want to make one comment though.
Sure.
I think you're very well informed, and as one member of this board, I think there's a very high probability when this all gets done, we will be negotiating with the Power Authority of New York to determine the taxation, this
They've
whole
already said
process.
that, yeah.
Okay,
Already read through.
thank you all.
I appreciate your time, and I don't mean to unload.
No, gosh, no, that's what this is for.
That's what we're here for.
We appreciate your
My
passion.
door's always open.
Oh, anything else under alternative?
No,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I think we, building and grounds, John, you want to walk us through,
Where are we?
page 7. That's as far as we made it.
Okay,
Not a very big.
that was fun.
No.
Buildings and grounds. All right, so we did meet. We went over the Abidjan expansion plan.
Marshall reported that you did check with other tenants, heard no issues anyone had. And basically, we also heard, Marshall, that the town of Watertown had approved Plan
They're
contingent
upon our review.
our review.
Yeah.
Which we've done. And the committee recommended the expansion, approval expansion, and to have the board
Okay.
review it today.
Right.
Consider. I
would move the approval of the design layout of the Avagen North America's plans.
Okay, do we have a second for the site plan?
I'll second.
Acceptance? Dave, any other discussion? All in favor of the site plan acceptance? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? The site plan, and I'm just making sure that wasn't a roll call, no.
Yeah.
Not following quickly enough here. Okay, so the site plan has been moved, thank you.
The other issue we considered was the corporate park variance that had been submitted by Alex Borgia.
There's no movement there.
Okay.
So,
And I know he was checking into some
yeah,
of the
he's got some
code issues.
engineering issues and he's working.
Okay.
So, all's good and he's planning on moving forward. We just don't have anything right now.
Okay, so you will see that again at some point.
Thank you. Anything else in building and grounds?
Nope.
Okay. Page 15, we have a resolution I'll read. It's under unfinished business, different format. Resolution number 08.06.2026.01, resolution of the JCIDA authorizing Marshall Weir to execute closing papers on behalf of Jefferson County Industrial Development Agency. There's a bunch of whereas clauses. I'm trying to find the salient ones if there is. The state will pay JCIDA $1 for essentially the turning lane. It's got a proper description in a parcel in here. This just has to do with transferring what we had always talked about. This is now the state.
This is us finishing this deal, finishing the deal.
And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Do we have a motion to accept, Paul?
I'll second.
Dave, any other discussion or clarifications what this is about?
In a long time coming in.
Yeah, and this is also not a roll
Okay,
call.
so far.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the state now owns this. Once you get your
Yeah,
dollar,
but they get my buck and sign it over.
I'll give you the $1.
I'll give you a 5.
Positive thing.
Any new business before we move to the last resolution? Okay. This is under council. I guess, Justin, is there any context you need to add into this? Otherwise, I can just sort of read it.
Sure, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. We
Okay.
include sales tax benefits through an agent agreement for this company. At the time, there was an agreement that their administrative fee would be paid on a deferred basis. That time period is passed, and Marshall and staff have come to an agreement on amortizing that fee in the form of an installment to be paid to the agency under those terms. The resolution authorizes the agency to sign an installment agreement and collect those in accordance with that amortization.
Okay. So is it fair to characterize the fee is converted to a loan, essentially?
I don't like to use the word loan.
Okay,
For a
installment
couple of
payments.
reasons, so
Okay.
they're gonna pay their admin fee on a time basis as opposed to paying it under
Okay,
each.
I just wanted to understand, because I've missed the last couple of weeks myself.
And interest is being imposed.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay, so page.
Key point,
where are we
thank
at?
you.
Page 16, authorizing resolution 3 Mile Bay Ventures LLC project, resolution 08.06.2026.02, resolution of the Jefferson County Development Agency authorizing installment payment provisions in connection with a certain project as more fully described below. Previously undertaken by the agency for the benefit of 3 Mile Bay Ventures LLC, the company authorizing the execution of related documents with respect to, and again, a bunch of whereas clauses. The second one cites the parcel known as Sally Court. And then we go to authorize the deferred payment of the administrative fee of which 36,400 remains due and owing, and there's an installment section on page somewhere. Saw it. Page 20, I'm not gonna go through it, but just for the board, there's installment payments and interest, which is 6%. And it's paid out through, how many? 2030?
5 years.
Is 2031, so 5 years basically. Okay. This one is a roll call vote, so we need a motion and.
So moved.
Okay, Bill?
Second.
Any other discussion or clarification what we're
So-
doing here?
Yeah, what kind of precedent does this have for future projects to request or require the same?
Well, I mean, I'll say that, that our fees are due at the time of closing. And that is what, you know, there was a weird situation when this happened that the board agreed to. But you know, that's our stated procedure here, and that's the plan. So as far as
This is a one and done
this is a
deal.
one and done deal in my eyes.
And we're also over 2 years past due question fee, correct?
This is an effort for us to get a payment plan in place and to collect interest, and as an effort to get this paid off.
A stupid question to follow Dave's, why couldn't the applicant have done this from the beginning?
That is the question.
So this is just making it legal?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I
protecting
mean,
us, but it's
I
also
suppose it
temporary.
puts some teeth behind it, but I don't know if you owe somebody money, you pay people money, but that's how.
Has there been any, excuse me, Rob,
Go ahead.
has there been any movement on the rest of his plans?
Yes, there has been, according to KC, they are moving forward, and they're expecting for this not to be an issue because they're going to be paying it in full in the short term.
Define short term,
He said 2 months.
2 months?
So
Okay.
does this get taken out with the final everything?
Yes, this would be a part of closing all of this.
We're not gonna sit here for 5 years just collecting.
Well, I guess that would go along with the payment schedule, so that we're agreeing to. So if he did, we would be paid off under the terms of the schedule. However, and, you know, as I just mentioned, you know, he believes that this is going to be a very short-term solution because they're going to be paying it in full very soon.
So.
But we're agreeing to do
Why
it.
didn't we agree to 2 years if he agrees he's gonna pay in 2 months?
Well, this was what made the most sense when we were talking to him.
Is there anything
Make it
in,
affordable for him
Okay.
if he has to pay it the long.
I'm happy if we can collect our fee and we created a business.
Yeah.
is there anything in the document to require him to take it out upon transfer of an ownership stake?
Justin?
There's a little bit of background here, just to start from the beginning. The applicant applied to the IDA for the full suite of benefits, pilot, mortgage reporting tax, and sales tax. Like many developers, a lot of this was timed and contingent on them getting commercial financing to build the project out. You as a board went through the standard process. You accepted their application, had a public hearing, and authorized helping the project in standard procedure and format. We mobilized for a closing on that full suite of benefits. And at that time, and Marshall may remember a little bit better than me, but the mortgage and the commercial lending entity that they were engaged with were not New York based, they're more of a broker. And there was some confusion or lack of experience with New York IDAs, where the lender wasn't comfortable with the IDA signing the mortgage like you've done thousands of times. And there was also, I think, a lending issue on an underwriting basis. And without going too far into it, I think some life insurance indemnities were not able to be delivered. So what happened shortly before the closing was that the lender said, hey, I may lend into this project, but the IDA can't participate. So the full suite of benefits that the IDA had on the table were curtailed. If we can't enter into a lease back and sign the mortgage, you can't do the pilot. So what happened, it was a closing, if you will, on sales tax only through an agent agreement, which doesn't involve any real estate interest given to the IDA. It's just an agent agreement and a contract that appoints them agent, allows them to use sales tax, and they have to comply with general IDA requirements. As part of that, because of, I think, a lower loan amount, some financial stress, they asked for the IDA to defer the payment of the fee, $40-something thousand. And we baked that into the agent agreement that basically said the earlier up to the end of 2024, or when they get to their construction financing or their permanent financing. Time traveled, and I don't know that they've gotten to that financing. And we are where we are. You have the agent agreement, and the strongest thing you can undertake is a recapture if you have a default under it, which means take back all the sales tax, which in this case, I think would be kind of onerous and result in the project failing completely. So I think in deference to Marshall and the folks working with him directly, this amortization through installments makes the most sense, gives them a little time to get to that financing, and we can, under this installment agreement, enhance it to Paul's question. We don't have the ability to really, well, I guess we can put a condition in there, if we sell the facility, that we get paid early. We can put a condition in there that if he hits a financing and plan, we get paid out, we don't continue to amortize. And if everything really goes bad, if there is a default, we always have that recapture provision where we can pursue, taking back all the sales tax benefit. That's really the ultimate bit of leverage that we have. But again, I think in deference and in open session here, we would be very careful about that in light of trying to make the project succeed. And that makes sense.
Thank you.
Yes, it
Is
does.
it your intention to modify the two things?
Yeah.
Justin said we can add, so we go back to the first and second, we modify to add in,
Should we?
define it.
I guess.
Can we do
Why not?
conditional approval?
What's that?
Can we do
The
conditional
resolution-
approval?
The resolution itself provides a lot of latitude to draft that installment agreement.
Okay, great.
All right.
Give us direction and we'll make it so.
So we don't need to change the first and second? Marshall can just
No,
give
you
you
should
advice
wait.
after? Okay, so Marshall can give you advice after to protect against sale of financing or triggers for full payment, keep paying us on the installment.
Yep.
Is that's
If I would like it to read that if he gets, if there's a refinancing here, we're taking out.
and or
Agree.
Yeah, and all of the.
and or sale of the property.
And or sale.
Either way,
Either way.
those two triggers are there's no installment, it's balloon.
That would be
So
great.
as long as you give instruction to council, you guys comfortable, whoever made the first and second, if they install.
Yes.
And then
Bill and John.
before we go, Bill and John, sorry. I don't know who made the second. I can't remember that far back. But I think we're at a roll call vote and Marshall will give instructions to council, so, Peggy?
Rob,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Lisa.
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
The resolution passes. Barring any other business, I guess motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Paul?
Second.
Lisa? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? You can start your deferring development.
All right.
10 minutes late, so actually a half hour early, because it seems like they always start late.
Technically, yes.
Technically not.
Come on up to the table.
Thank you, Austin. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Rob.
Yes,
That's for.
I am voting on weekends. I believe it. Is it Tuesday though? Oh, it is. It's the 10th. I know it's the 10th. I know it's the 10th, but I don't remember what day it is. Yes.
All right, we'll call the,
John, let me,
go ahead.
Yes, excuse me, I have a.
Mayor, how are you?
Good.
Welcome.
You have to excuse me, John, I have another place to be.
You gotta go? Okay.
committee anyhow. See y'all later.
Thank you, Paul.
Take care.
See right there. Okay,
Are we ready now?
we are ready.
All right, we'll call the Prairie Redevelopment Corporation August meeting to order. First order of business, we have minutes from the last meeting. It was on June 4th.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Bill seconds. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I don't believe we have any committee reports. I believe our business today basically is an update, Marshall. And I guess before, I would just like to say that I did have the opportunity to swing by there probably week and a half ago. And I hadn't been there since we all met out there earlier this year. And I will say, it does appear that they've actually cleaned up and graded the site. I was impressed with the way it looked. At least from the parking lot in that area. So it looks like we're making a little progress in that respect. But we have, what do we have for an update?
Well, I mean, the update really is that, you know, I've spoken with Dylan and Jacob, and the project is complete. They have been mobilized out. I too, you know, when I was talking to John and he had visited the site, I went out there last week and was very impressed. Where we stand really right now is we're waiting on EDR, who is our consultant for the BOA on that project, to provide us with their draft report, and you know, which will outline potentially some pathways forward for the property, and we're still waiting for that. We're hoping to have that for this meeting. I do know Sarah Bullock is on top of them all the time to get this report squared away and to give us a plan to start. But you know, unfortunately, that's really kind of about it as far as the update. But I'd love to hear, Nancy, if you have any thoughts on what's going on there, any input.
Well, I did talk to Sarah yesterday because I was curious too what was going on both.
Yeah.
And so she said that she's just waiting on them. I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know, but I will keep pressing Sarah to keep pressing them.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the other things I was concerned about was we talked about that easement for the property as you come into the village.
Yeah.
So, you know, for us to go forward in regards to putting a expensive sign there, a message board sign that we want to do.
Yep.
I don't want to do that without knowing that property belongs to the village.
Yep.
So, I don't know what that will take, you know.
Okay.
So we had when we met at the county, I thought the county attorney was gonna look into that.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
Yeah.
I can follow up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will too. He's on vacation right now.
But that certainly is, we were looking forward to providing you with that easement, you know, based on legal, which I'm sure we'll be able to figure out a pathway forward.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing was, we talked about the last time I was here, the mosquito population and the problem with those those tanks. And so at that meeting, we were talking about there's tablets we could throw in and stuff like that, but we had already asked to be sprayed. We'd already contracted with Duflo to spray the village. So that went through, even though it was delayed for so many weeks because of the rain, the wind, and everything else. I would get a phone call, we're doing it tonight, get a phone call, it's canceled tonight. So anyways, they called me last week or called me this Monday and said that they've had other requests from other villages that because of all the rain, it's really getting bad again. So would we be willing and wanted to do it again? It cost us $1,250 the last time we did it. When I talked to you, Marshall, before, it was like maybe the county would pick up that fee this time because of the fact that those tanks were overlooked and did not get taken out.
Okay.
You know, and so it's you know, I don't know, that might be a small request, but it just, you know, I thought I'd ask anyways.
Okay.
I'll certainly look into that. And I know that we had talked about that, but I will follow up on that and see what, where we can find a budget to take care of that.
Okay, I have to give them an answer by next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday?
Yeah, because they're on the schedule, they have to put it in the paper and let everybody know they're
Yeah,
gonna be doing it.
Sure.
So anyways, and it does work. I had to ask our guys who mow the lawns, so does it work? Are you getting inundated with mosquitoes? They said no, but they said it, you can tell it's starting to come back.
Yeah.
So, and they're out there all day long doing it. And so there's a fun thing going on in the Fayette, of all the stuff that's going on, we have a fun thing. Yeah. So this 250 celebration, it's like, what are you gonna do? What's everybody doing? So I approached the board early this year about doing a time capsule, because we do have a lot of history in DeFerrier. We have so much with the mill, with everybody who lived in DeFerrier, worked at the mill and stuff. So everybody was on board with it, and so we came up with it. And so we got the time capsule, and so then I've asked all the kids in town to write a letter to themselves. What do you think what do we think the village will be like in 50 years? And so, and a lot of kids have written.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
But then I found out you got to do it on acid-free paper, and there's all these little things. You just can't throw things in the ground. So, but on the 27th of August, we are doing this. We are doing this at 5 o'clock. We're going to have this big ceremony. So I brought all of you a copy of the flyer.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know what we're doing. And so it's like there's 2 pages of it. So we originally were going to do it in July, and then I realized all the things you have to do. I had the wrong cart. I said, when I finally called the Smithsonian and said, what's the actual way you should do this? And then I find out, oh, you got this and this and this to do. And you have to register it. You have to do, so that 50 years from now, when nobody else is here, somebody else will know it's there. So it's going to be, I think it's fun. It's a lot of excitement. So the commander Fort Drum gave me a coin. It's really cool. And he gave me his card because he said he probably will be here 50 years. So, we got pennies, because pennies won't be around. There's a lot of cool stuff we got to put in.
That's neat.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. So, it's trying to come up with some positive things, all the time. So, I think the kids will be I got to tell you one story though. So I have a couple of high school kids that help out all the time. They help out at the point, they'll help out doing little things. And I can just text them and say, where are you tonight? And they'll show up and help weed and do things like that, mulch. So I said to them, you guys, you're on the cusp of the kids that should write the letters, because you've grown up here. And the one boy said to me, well, I'm going in the service, so I probably won't be here. I go, but you will always be, your hometown will always be DeFerrier. He goes, yeah, but I probably won't make it I'll probably get killed. I thought, oh my God, yeah. No, that's something like that. And it just took me back for a few seconds. I thought, wait a minute, no, this is not, no. So it was just surprising that somebody would think like that.
Wow. Yeah.
Out of the mouths of
Yeah.
If I could, the mosquito tablets, Jefferson County Soil and Water District doesn't sell those. The Oswego County Soil and Water Conservation District does. They're $5 each. I don't know how many you would need for the volume of water, but I'll find out. But the Oswego County Department of Health provides them for free in certain circumstances. But we're not in Oswego County, so I don't think we'd get them for free.
Would it just be, is it just about those cistern type things? Could it be tablet or spraying?
Yeah, I just wanted, well, they approached me about spraying again, and then probably the village could pick up again.
Yeah.
But, I think that, one of the tablets, I have not seen these tanks, but I've asked the guys, what do they look like? He goes, well, they're huge duck ponds right now.
Yeah.
They're huge.
I remember seeing them when I was out there walking around the property.
3 of them were sewage clarifier basins and 1 was a sediment basin. There's 4 of them. It's, and from memory, I can't remember the exact gallons, but you're talking minimum of 10,000 or more gallons. In each basin. It's
For the water magnitude,
I can tell you this, I can't quote quote the exact diameter of them.
Yeah.
But I can tell you they're
21
21
tablets.
That wasn't part of the tear down.
because I changed many patents.
Yeah.
I think it got
Sounds like
overlooked.
they were.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Did,
All right.
the perimeter fence get fixed?
The perimeter fence, I wouldn't know if I characterize it as fixed per se, but they have been going through and patching holes where appropriate. It doesn't go 100% completely around. There are a couple of gaps, and I don't know if the gaps themselves have been mended, or in some cases they were never there.
There was a big, I know that there's a big area over, if you come off 3A going towards those tanks in that area,
Right.
the fence was open there.
I think it's closed now.
Okay.
The guy who mows lawn told me the other day that it's been closed.
Okay,
So,
good.
yeah.
You were thinking about doing some no trespassing signs. Did they ever get scattered around?
Not that I'm aware of, or not that I really paid attention to that, I can look.
I remember at one of the meetings that.
I think we talked about, was there, I don't remember a decision being made to put them up. We do have signs that we can put up.
I think around those
We did have some kids,
embankments where there's
yeah.
dangers,
Those kids
from
broke-
falling, I'd put up no trespassing.
we had some kids break in, well, I guess it's probably now 6 weeks ago, with ATVs, just blew through the gate, so, but before we got the police came and took care of it, but, yeah.
No trespassing won't stop at all, but it'll stop probably 90% of it.
True. Yeah, I think kids are curious,
Exactly.
because it's funny, it's gone from, the building, but now it's got the ruins, like those little kids, and this, like kids are, those two boys that I work with, they go, you kind of wonder what's in there, so.
Sure they do.
Yeah. It's like caves are just.
Tell them there's a lot of bats in there.
Yeah.
No, that won't help, that's a draw.
No snakes, that don't scare me.
Draws, bats, snakes, okay, let's go see.
Yeah.
All righty. Any further on an update? Any
Supervisor?
supervisor?
Unfortunately, I don't really have a whole lot yet. Supervisor Crump, do you have any?
Nope, I
thoughts?
have nothing pertinent right now. A lot of possibilities that I'm not at liberty to talk about,
Sure.
but
Okay.
Okay,
possibly by our next meeting, I'll have something positive.
Perfect. That's, we're open to any ideas, positive things, absolutely.
all right.
Great.
I don't think we have any new business, maybe at the next meeting, Supervisor, which should be good to hear.
How big is that capsule?
It's only 5 inches.
Oh,
And
my God, it needs to be
it's
bigger than
nice.
that.
I know, but we're doing 2, so, and it's about 19, so,
Okay.
yeah. It fits a lot, and so, we've already, Stewart's and just Stefano's, all those places, what pizza costs today, what's gonna cost 50 years now. Things, fun things, so, but also a lot of history. Our historian wrote actually a 10-year, he worked on it for 10 years. The whole, it's an awesome history, so.
Did you put a Twinkie in it to see if it's
I
still
know.
edible?
I thought about it, really. So I read a lot of things about do and do not put in there, so.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is, and I keep trying, I want, when somebody opens up in 50 years from now, that it's worth opening up. There'll be some fun things to look at and things,
It's a snapshot of what it was like
yeah, and so,
this time.
and especially just all the history of the area,
Yeah.
So it was a unique little village, still
That's
is.
neat.
It still is, so.
That's fun.
Yeah, I didn't know when I took over this, I didn't know what I was getting involved in. I've been on the board for a lot of years, but as far as, earning workings, maybe I didn't realize, and I didn't realize I'd be having to tell people, you can't put out 20 bags of garbage, and it's stupid stuff like that.
But you can get away with it, they respect you. It's like,
We appreciate your engagement.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, be thankful that you're a small village, because some days I think I need a priest column. I mean, seriously, it's, I don't know, I just shake my head sometimes after listening to some of the stuff that comes out.
Yep, I understand. I work with a lot of chief electeds around
And some of the stuff that comes up that they tell me is just absolutely incredible. There's no describing it.
A priest collar and a therapist couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a combination.
Calls that come in are amazing.
And then you feel like almost a marriage counselor trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
mediate some kind of
Yeah.
comparable agreement between the parties.
Oh, yeah.
And
Run up to the town of Lorraine sometime.
Yeah.
We had a town supervisor at one point to go over,
well,
and we're still trying to clean things up.
Sure.
I'm in that situation, sure, I hate to say that, but
Right
it's.
now, the town of Lyme's trying to get rid of him.
Poor Bill. All right, well,
I
nothing
appreciate
further
your
to bring
time.
up?
Thank you guys.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
So move.
Second.
No further discussion? We're adjourned.
So you-
Thank you very much for coming.
Sure. Somebody will get back with me in regards to, do we spray or are we gonna put pellets in?
Yes,